What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing this evening? I hope y'all are doing well. Welcome to the Thought and Talk podcast with Aaron EBM. I hope everybody is well. Let me get this stuff off the screen because y'all don't want to see that. Hope everybody is doing well. Like I said, give y'all a little bit to come on in. Tonight, we're going to be talking about, as you see on the thumbnail, no relationship skills. Thought and Talk podcast, episode 19. Can modern women and men get along, or can they make relationships, or are we just doomed? Are we just doomed? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. But before we do that, let me get this, pull this stuff off. So I hope you guys are doing well. Like I said before, 6 minutes into the broadcast, and we're gonna do our thing as usual. Let me see what's going on here. A lot of stuff going on, as you know. We're past hump day. We're at the end of the week. Friday coming up. Hope you guys have plans, or if you don't have plans, you enjoy this nice weather before it gets too cold. We're heading into what is it? Halloween, and then Thanksgiving after that. Man, it's just although we going through harder times, rough times, recession. It's good to see that people are still, spirits are uplifted. They're not just falling prey or falling victim to the woe is me narratives that are out there and the bad things, even though they should be taken seriously. People aren't just breaking down, because they could. They could very well do that with all the price increases, with the inflation, with all of the above, man. It could be a lot, it could be a lot worse. But every day, every day above ground is a good day. Let me see, get this on there. Yes, and make sure if you're new to the channel to subscribe if you like this content, and if you do, make sure you share it, because us smaller YouTubers got to stick together. You guys, if you pay attention to the back of it, if you're a content creator, if you actually do this stuff, either periodically or you're a occasional YouTuber, you got to pay attention to the background things and the analytics, and they tell you that you're pretty much throttled if you're under 1,000 subscribers. You're pretty much on your own. You got to do your own branding, got to do all your own marketing, which you got to do anyway, no matter how many subscribers you had. But you got to do your own marketing. They won't push your content as hard as they will if you have say 1,000 and up subscribers. So shout out to all the people that's working hard out there, who making making it do what it do, and keep doing what you're doing. Hopefully the stuff you're doing is positive. But we're just gonna get right into it, man. Y'all know we talked about movies a couple weeks ago, and I seen some news the other day that Marvel is shut down on some pretty big movies. Let me share the bigger screen right here. Marvel is shutting down some production on one of the most anticipated movies. Now, they got a lot of movies coming out. They have a lot of movies coming out, and for the most part, I haven't been impressed with this with Marvel's Phase 4 at all. So I like watching my movies. That's what I do. But Marvel's one of them. I watch a lot of Marvel movies. So I watch a lot of Marvel movies, and I like, that's what I do. I just like watching these movies, and I just got used to have if you've been there from the beginning, you got used to just the overall, the writing of the movies. You got used to the way they played out, the cinematography of it all, and we just kind of got spoiled. But now with Phase 4, it's not really like that. With Phase 4, it's kind of just like lackluster. And Now, Phase 5, which we're supposed to have Fantastic Four out coming out. Um, I think X-Men are supposed to be introduced out into the Marvel Cinematic Universe pretty soon. Um, we ain't really paying attention. I think the Thunderbolts who cut with Red Hawk. If you're into the comic books, you guys know what I'm talking about. If you're not into the comic books, then it probably sounds like a bunch of gibberish. But yeah, a bunch of anticipated movies. But what happened is, what I looked up and seen is that Blade is getting shelved. They're shutting down production on Blade. And I've been ready for it. If you came up, like I said, with me coming up, we came up with Wesley Snipes as the original Blade, and we give a lot of credit to Robert Downey Jr. Give a lot of credit to Robert Downey Jr. really breathing life into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But if you've been around from the beginning, you know that Blade was the predecessor to Iron Man, and I feel like, and I think, and I believe that without Blade, it would have been a lot harder. Not saying that Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man wouldn't have did what it did, but a lot of eyes are on Marvel and the Marvel characters, even though it wasn't a quote unquote Marvel cinematic movie, it was one of Marvel's characters. So once they released Blade, a lot of eyes were on the movies, comic book movies, because before then, a lot of comic book movies really just wasn't it. So once Blade came out, they showed that they pretty much could make a comic book character movie come out and do okay. So a lot of years went by since the original Blade came out. I say at least 20 years, and when I wasn't super excited when I heard about Mahershala Ali playing the character, not because of him just being Mahershala Ali, but the fact that Mahershala was kind of old to be starting his role. So when I got past it, time went by and I was like, all right, I like to at least give the dude a chance or give people a chance, even if they're not, the pick that I would have picked to actually be this character. So we are, and I probably speak for a few people or a lot of people, that we all got kind of excited to see what Mahershala was going to do in the universe. But now they say they're shutting down production on um Mahershala's Blade. And I didn't know what the hell happened because everybody, I hadn't heard anything up until now. But they say that now this could be just um, this could just be something to get the stir the buzz for the movie or whatever. And that could be so. But the news comes out amid reports of upheaval on the set, including concerns about subpar script and departure of the film's director. Now, when you start talking about that, I kind of believe it. Why would if I was Mahershala or if I was his agent, why would I, with all these good movies that came out, you got Captain America, you got Iron Man, you got the original Avengers, and then you come out and then outside of Black Panther, you have Blade, and why would I want to come attach myself to something that was lackluster? So I wouldn't want that stain on me either. So I would understand about the movie getting shelved for a while, and if their director left, I completely understand. And maybe Ryan Coogler can do it. He did a good job on Black Panther. I can't say Black Panther, was one of the greatest phases, movies in that Marvel phase. But the film was in active pre-production in Atlanta, and the filming expected to begin in November. So it hadn't even begun yet, but it was kind of pretty much halted before it even got moving and rolling from what I'm watching here. And I believe it tied up into a lot of the Black Knight character from the Eternals. If you watch the Eternals movie at the end of the movie, when the credit scenes post credit scene came, it was pretty much a sign, the voice that you heard. I can't remember his name. Who Let me see, what the heck is his name from Game of Thrones? Jon Snow, the guy who plays Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, was pretty much in the movie set to play Black Knight, and it was somehow supposed to tie into Mahershala Ali playing this character, with his character in it. And everybody was excited. You heard Mahershala Ali at the end of the movie telling him, well, was he ready? And then everybody got excited. So there was exclusive report on why director Basim Tariq really quit the movie. Let me see. The original Blade, Wesley Snipes, 1998. So it's a long time ago. Ryan Reynolds right there. And this was a picture from Blade 3, one of the worst Blade movies, if not the worst Blade movie of the whole franchise. But there was a lot of drama with this movie too. Wesley was just not wanting to do the movie. He was getting into it with the directors too. And it was just a bunch of mess. So this looks like, man, I was ready for it to play because I was ready for it to be out because I heard that I kept hearing back and forth that Wesley was going to make some kind of appearance in the reboot, but it wasn't really confirmed. And I believe this new Werewolf by Night show that they have on Disney Plus was supposed to tie into it, being what Blaze vampire as a vampire character. So the whole werewolf and vampire thing uh was supposed to play into it, man. But I was looking forward to it. How the movies kind of tie into some of these Disney Plus movies, which I said a lot of the Disney Plus movies that are tied to this phase of the movies aren't really good. It's too political. It's got too much agenda stuff in there, and you can see it. It really messes with the whole flow of the movies. I really don't. And I probably not the only one that thinks this, but I don't want to hear about women's empowerment when I want to watch Disney or Marvel movies and watch stuff blow up. I want to see my characters fight bad guys, win the beat them up, win the fight, and go on and just have a good time. I don't want it to be ruined by the talks about the patriarchy and talks about how strong the women can be and how they can do the same things that a lot of these characters do with less work. I don't want to hear that. I just want to watch a movie, and that's a lot of mistakes. They're making the same mistake as a lot of these other companies, and you would think that because Disney is such a big company and would understand that the fans and the people that actually watching these movies, they do care about them, but they're making so much money that they know people, if they lose out on some part in some of the movies, they'll make up with other parts of the movie. But that's a mistake. That's the same mistake that DC is making with their movies. It's the same mistake a lot of these companies are making, because at the end of the day, they're thinking about the dollar sign and not what really people are wanting. You see them do it time and time again with these movies and with these things that people clearly saying that they want them not to do, and they continue to do it anyway, and it just makes for a bad experience. So hopefully this isn't the end for Blade, because I was looking forward to it. Hopefully they get back on their feet and they can do something with with the franchise, and just not let that be the end of it. Let me see. I think I got a few of these comments here. Let me see. Too much woke. Hey, right, AR. Too much. It is too much wokeness. Yeah. Oh man, I even forgot. I didn't even want to get into that with them about the Eternals. The Eternals. What they did with the Eternals was horrible. When I seen and I heard about the Eternals, I thought it was going to be something. It had the potential to be something great, and they really didn't. I'm not going to tell people to watch that movie, but if you watch the movie, you'll understand what was wrong with the movie. The best part of that movie was the actual end credits, and they just dropped the ball. But that's a lot of what this phase, I think phase 4 of Marvel is. And if you into marketing, if you understand what marketing is, you'll understand what they're doing. They said they were going to pander, and they were going to put as much inclusive stuff in the movies as they could when they can. And it is their company. I understand what you're trying to do, but not at the expense of good quality films. Now they told people they're going to do this. They told people they're going to shove as much as they could down everybody's throat. And if you, like I said, if you are into the movies, especially this superhero genre, you know what I'm talking about. Look, the Gen Xers, like I said before, the Gen Xers, they came in and really were the ones to look at the comic books. They were the one to watch the read the comics, really get into that. And the millennials were the ones that grew up with the cartoons, the animated series, Batman, the animated series, X-Men, the animated series, Spider-Man. We the ones that came up with those that actually see them in cartoon form. So and were the first ones to watch it turn from the cartoon form to the movie form. So we are getting to the point or to the age to where we're starting to either our palettes are beginning to change, and we're not the ones buying the merchandise. We're not the ones buying the shirts, the t-shirts, the toys, and all this stuff is not being bought by us. It's being bought by who? The Gen Zs. Now, we got some millennials, unless you're a fanatic, you know, they're not going to be the ones spending all the money. It's going to be the Gen Zs. And what are the Gen Zs? They're the ones that come out woke and want everything to be kind of, inclusive. So they want to do everything they can to make those guys fanatics and make those guys the ones that keep the movies alive. But you got to remember, it's a lot of us that are watching these movies and still here watching these movies and enjoying the content. So you can't. Do you want to destroy the fans that have been here, and turn them off for the future and at the, just to help the these other few over here? Or do you want to continue to make, make money, make money like you would want to really make money? What's going on, Roberto? Appreciate you stopping by, man. We're just chilling tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the relationships. We're going to talk a little bit about modern men and modern women. Can they get along? What really is going on? Because we talk a lot about the gender war and relationships and what women are doing and what men are doing, but we don't talk about a lot about what has actually happened. What is actually going on. You're never going to really figure out what's going on, or um, you're not really going to understand it if you come into the battle, or you come into the argument already ready to fight. So people really need to really understand what's going on, and they won't understand what's going on unless they really dive deep into it. We're going to get into a little bit, and we're going to figure that out. But before then, just doing our movie talk. So let me see, move this over here. Next thing I was looking into, or trying to look out for, because I've been looking at this for a while. Now, I also told you about Avatar last week, that if you haven't seen Avatar, it is one of the better movies that have that came out. I think it's been a long time since the original Avatar came out, but it was a visual masterpiece. I can't say that I didn't enjoy this movie and I didn't watch this movie several times. But if you want a shorter version, just go out and watch Fern Gully, the old, I think it was a Disney movie too. Go watch Fern Gully, and it's pretty much the same setup, the same plot. People living in the forest, mind their own business. Corporations come out, try to destroy the people's home to make money, and the people fight back. Fern Gully, Avatar, same movie. But now I believe there are 3 more movies coming out, 3 more Avatar movies coming out, which the first one comes out, I believe, this December. And this is The Way of the Water, Avatar 2. They say it's a 15-minute clip of that, and I'm not watching that tonight, and I'm not trying to get no copyright claims, but I'm not reading all this either. But to let you guys know, there are 3 more movies coming out. There are 3 more movies coming out, the first one is coming out this year. Yeah, 2009. So you've seen this long since they've waited. Have we been waiting for this movie to come out? So we'll get 2022, we'll get part 2, and you'll see the rest of the series set to release in 2024 and 2026. So that's 3 years in between the last one and this one. So we'll get a 1-year break. We'll get the next one, and the third one will come out in 2026. So this movie right here, I feel like they waited too long to make sequels to. The buzz is gone, and it's not all their fault. Some of this stuff was because of COVID, which why I got pushed back. Some of it was COVID. Some of it was just, you got to really think about how much it takes to make a movie like Avatar. So you got that on top of that, and then COVID coming out. It really kind of messed up a lot of the momentum for a lot of movies. I think Top Gun was supposed to come out like a year before it actually came out. Top Gun was supposed to come out, and what else was supposed to come out during that time that got pushed back? A lot of movies got pushed back. I think Black Widow got pushed back because of the C-19, and it's just a whole bunch of it. Some of it you can't control, but like I said, Avatar is one of the ones you probably want to see if you're going to spend some money to go to the movies. Which I haven't been in the movie since C-19 hit. That'll be one of the ones to go see. I might dust my wallet off to go see Avatar. That might be one of the ones I go see. Um, but they are supposed to be, when it did originally come out, they were had some groundbreaking things as far as digital animation that they did, and they are said supposedly. I looked at some of the behind the scenes things about Avatar, and they said they were supposed to be doing some groundbreaking things as well in these sequels that haven't been done in movies before. So, man, y'all might have to even go out and buy brand new TVs to see these movies, because the TVs that we have now might not even do them justice. So, Avatar is another one to look out for. Let me see. Man, let's get into the foolishness, man. What we got? Let me see. If y'all haven't heard already, if you haven't heard what I should have heard, which I think was amazing. One of the only things that good old Moneybag Joe did so far is I heard that trans women who were born male must sign up for the military draft, which I know they probably were in an uproar about this, because a lot of these people probably don't want to have anything to do with being men. But hey, you know what? You ain't getting out of draft.
Nope.
You ain't getting out of it. You have to go just like the rest of us go. But make sure you guys can see this. It said trans women who born as male must sign up for military draft. Transgender women who were born male are still required to sign up for the selective service in the event of a military draft. And you see them already right there ready to protest and say they shouldn't be able to fight in the draft or in war. These are more than likely men who couldn't cut it as men, who decide to go ahead and trans whatever they call it, but transition. But the policy, which has already been in effect for some time, gained new attention after a selective service system issued a reminder for men between the ages 18 and 25 to register for selective service. Parents, if your son is an only son and the last male in your family to carry on the name, he still is required to register for the selective service. Oh man, see, I didn't even know this. This is new right here. See, this is what happened when you guys. I didn't even know that, because one while if you were the last son in the family, you did not have to. You couldn't get drafted, because your lineage, if something happened to you, your lineage would be gone, be wiped off the face of the planet. So at one point in time, you did not have to register. If you're the last son, you didn't have to. You wouldn't be drafted. But now they're saying you have to draft. You have to sign up with the register with the selective services. The SSS said it would now. Viral tweet sent on Friday. Many of the comments reflected social commentary about changing views on gender, as well as remarks about timing as Russia's war in Ukraine escalates. See, y'all got to pay attention, man. I know a lot of y'all want to watch everything. You want to watch your Real Housewives. You want to watch, all the rest of the stuff you want to do. Everybody's UFC, and who doesn't like UFC? I love UFC, but you guys got to pay attention to the real world sometime. Y'all know stuff is getting hot in Ukraine. It's not going anywhere. Russia, it's back and forth with Russia. I believe, and it's just me. It's just my tinfoil hat right now I got on. But I know United States over there doing his ninja over there, his ninja assassin over there. I know they're over there doing stuff that that they really aren't supposed to be doing over there. Y'all know how it goes. Most of the time they have their nose and stuff they really don't belong in, and we just kind of play along or play as pawns. Let me see. It said parents will we may kill your son and end your bloodline and family name for the sake of defending some irrelevant pile of sand. Somebody who said that in some godforsaken corner of the globe that hold no worth whatsoever to your family. Look, and this has been happening. You can protest all you want to. You can do the things you want to do and do your things you want to do. This is America. Muhammad Ali was able to do the same thing because of his his religion. He was not, and he made some good points. But how many of y'all? Half of y'all don't even go to church. Half of y'all don't even go to mass. Half of y'all don't even go to synagogue or whatever, any of that. And y'all, you want to have some kind of moral compass all of a sudden. Come on, get out of here. I once heard somebody say that the amount of people that claim they are Christian in this world, if you go door to door and knock on the about 70 to 80% of the doors you knock on, somebody's going to say they're either some kind of Christian or they're Catholic or something like that. And with the amount of people that are going to claim that they are one of these religions, there shouldn't be anybody that the world and especially the United States shouldn't be in the shape it's in with that many God-fearing Christians. So that's not really true. That's a bunch of BS. So the man behind what is a woman documentary, a transgender section of the SSS website, which is tweet link stressed that all biological males are required to sign up for the draft. And as this applies to citizens or immigrants, the United States who were born male and had their gender changed to female. So even if you got gender reassignment, if your birth certificate said that you were male, if you were born a male and you changed, you're still going to have to go fight. It's not I'm going to get out of it. I mean, and it should. I mean, if women, if this United States, if United States was equal, we're about equal rights, and I'm about equal rights. I am a feminist myself, so I believe that women should have fair, have rights and have fair and equal access to everything that a man has in this United States. And that's what feminism is about. So I am too a feminist, but with equal rights come the equal responsibility. If you are able to get drafted, you should be able to get drafted along too. You can't just say one day I feel like I'm this, and all of a sudden you forego all the responsibilities it is that you have in the United States. And that's the weird thing about it. Women already have this thing that's get out of jail free card with not having to sign up for the selective service, even though they can sign up to be in the military. Now you have men that get reassigned to say they don't want to have to, or they shouldn't have to be drafted or have to sign up for the selective services. But this is now you have to, and now people crying. Now people are crying and they're upset they have to do this, but you're going to have to do it. For transgender men who listed as female at the time of their birth, the SSS does not require them to register. So trans men don't have to register because they were assigned as women or women at birth. Which I still think is BS. In this free country, in this country that women have fought to be equal with men, I feel like we all have to be. We should sign up for selective service. Have to be made to sign up, and to do it proudly. If you're in this country and if you're partaking in the freedoms and the liberties that you have, we should all be able to. Look, going back to a movie again, I like Starship Troopers. Let me see if you can see one of the greatest movies, one of the greatest cult classic movies that were ever made, Starship Troopers. In that movie, it was a scene where they were in the shower and they were talking about all the different things a person had to do in order to be able to just live regular life. You had to, I think in that movie they called them citizens and civilians. Citizens were the ones that were actually military personnel. So in order to have a baby, you had to go register and you had to serve X amount of years. In order to go to college, you have to serve X amount of years. In order to have, I might say kids already, you still have to serve X amount of years in the military before you were allowed to do any of that stuff. Before you allowed to go to college, before you allowed to have kids, before you allowed to get married, you have to serve in the military. And I think that should be like that in the United States. I think everybody should be made. Oh, we're like the only countries, and then people take advantage of the freedoms that we have in this country. They don't want to do any of that stuff. You just want to sit here and be free. I think everybody should pay their dues, even me. If they decide to come get me and make me serve a couple years in the military, so be it. So be it. I already can run a 9.4 minute mile, so I'm already there. I'm doing pretty good. But I think that is if he leaves out of office, if good old Moneybag Joe leaves out of office, he can leave his head held high because he actually wrote something or actually did something or pushed for something that was actually going to get something done. And I think it should even go even further. Every woman should have to register for the selective service after a certain age, and every man should have to go. And if it's not every one of them, it should be like a lottery. It should be like jury duty. It should be like jury. The people that take more things, wouldn't take many things from as much things for granted if they were have to actually to go train and have to see what other people go through and do the things they do. You wouldn't take as many things for granted. But who knows? Who knows? Let me see what this is. We don't need that. Which one came back? Now before we get into this, I seen an article. I seen an article today that piqued my interest as well too, and it goes along with the this whole thing about. Let me see sure I got my face on this whole modern women, modern men thing, and it's a lot of it ties up. A lot of this stuff ties up into the way they're watching men's content online now, the way how they have their eyes set and how they have the crosshairs on a lot of things that men are talking about. And it piqued my interest because I really didn't even hear the word excuse me, I didn't really hear the word incel. I didn't really hear the word femcel or none of this stuff until I actually got into the internet space. So it was new to me, which when you read this article along with me, you'll kind of see like this is it almost seemed like this is BS and they're reaching in order to do something or silence people in the long run. But let's look at this. Incel. Which came first, the incel or misogynist? Right there, it's already going to be some BS. A new study delves into the incel mind. Now, it says it. The term incel is short for involuntary celibate. Began life as a slur wielded online. Specifically, the term refers to young men, typically heterosexual men, who claim they are unable to have sex because modern society, particularly women, persecute men. In the past 2 decades, the internet forums supercharged the ideas and spread and made it into a community, replete itself with its own slang, ideology, and heroes. See, now you guys got to tell me if this thing is. I don't believe that incels are some kind of like this hateful organization of men together, like some kind of James Bond, evildoer Blair kind of thing, full of incels. That's what they're trying to make it out to be. I haven't seen anybody like that, but to be fair, I have seen the kind of people, and it's not a lot, and it's never a lot. It's always that person, growing up that you seen that, was kind of, weird, not even really, you would say even nerdy, but just kind of weird. And, you almost could tell that person was like, it almost seemed like that person was from a different planet. So if I could imagine what a kind of a person would be with incel it would be that, kind of the person that didn't really care about their image or their hygiene, and, and they were kind of just going through life and to be the person just, overweight and just sitting on their mom's couch and not really having a plan for themselves and kind of, playing video games and catfishing women online. That if that was what I could put the visual I could put in it, that's what I would think an incel would be. But if you haven't, they say you haven't heard the term, you've probably heard some of their what is that inherits of occasional make headlines and public acts of violence. See, this is what the thing they're trying to do now. They're trying to make it seem like they're this sale of people of incels, this terrorist cells full of incels that are going around. And that's what this is. I'm not going to read all this, but they've had 3 cases right here where they're saying violent attacks and happen, and they say those persons were people were calling themselves incels, convicted incel mass murder, or tried to use autism as an excuse. I'm not looking at that. Not looking at that. It's some better stuff here. They said this despite stereotype of incels as white basement dwellers, which I said before, they are in fact racially, economically, in many ways quite diverse. Some of the tenets of the incel movement includes, excuse me, the belief that women discriminate sexually against men that aren't conventionally attractive, and all women are hypergamous. Now, this is where you're going to see some of the conflation that happens when these people try to smear and just talk stuff about people that they really don't understand, but they're trying to and really trying to broad stroke people into to really silence a lot of men that have grievances online. See, this they say women discriminate against men that aren't conventionally attractive. Women do. Now, if I am I lying? Oh, uh do women not discriminate against other men that they don't find attractive? Why wouldn't I would want women to have some sort of standard? That's a standard. Discriminating on somebody that they don't find attractive is a standard. So I don't understand why they're trying to make it seem like they don't they do that. They should do that. And I know it's some men out there that feel like this, just like I know it's some women out there that feel like they're not conventionally attractive and men discriminate against them. And the difference between men and women doing that is because you see it all the time now that women have this movement that they're trying to really make men, shame men for having preferences, or shaming men for having some kind of standard. That's where the whole body positivity, or you're being fat phobic, or you're shaming us for not wanting to do, for not wanting to be with us. That's where all this stuff comes from. It's the same thing. And let me see right here. It says all women are hypergamous, you know and they should, and a lot of women are. They might not be hypergamous with I know most of the time we talk about it as being hypergamous, with money wise, with them wanting to have a man that makes more money than them. And I believe that this is a part of evolution that have went into the monetary provision part of having a relationship. um Women naturally want a man that they feel that can protect them, which is why most of them want a man that's, taller than them, want a man to be able to be more muscular than them. Some of it's for vanity, but some of it is from biological purposes that's kind of been copy and pasted onto this modern world. Now, some of it's crazy, which we know some of it we say women are quite delusional when they say these things, because they can be, massively overweight, or massively unattractive, but then they still expect the man to be attractive or in shape, or they'll use their education and their job to kind of catapult themselves and then ask for more. But in this sexual market, you guys know that it's really not feasible, and it's not really going to happen on the average. There always are the exceptions, but most of the time it's not going to be like that. They say obsessed with pursuing the most attractive possible men, and that is a procreation thing. I do believe that. So I have not seen a man that is upset about a woman wanting a more attractive man. Most men know that that's what women are trying to do. Men are trying to do the same thing. But like I said, and like I always say, men know, and men have always been told who they are and what they are, and what their lane is, and we pretty much accepted it. We already know that from birth we aren't as inherently valued like women are valued. We know that we have to work ourselves up, into a certain position to be able to get, more attention from women. Now, some men are blessed with the different body aspects, and they can do that on, more easily. But we all usually know that, and therefore they're deserving of hatred. I don't, like I said, I don't see that. I've never met anybody that's like that, but I have met what they say the archetype, what they believe the archetype is physically that an incel is. But I've never seen that. I've never seen a group of men that are going around either trying to harm or hate women because they have some kind of a standard that's been like that from the beginning of time. Now, what you have seen in recent years, with the rise of male spaces is, the conversations that are being had that women, when women are told these things, these truths of the dating market, they don't like it. Now all of a sudden, this is when they try to change the whole thing up, where try to flip it on his head and say, well, you guys aren't supposed to like us for our looks either. But this is just not true. Men have been okay how the market has been. Men have been okay about, knowing that women want to go for what they want, and most of the time what they want is the best of the best, and that's cool. And that's cool. There are certainly a vicious cycle element to ideology. Members of the incel movement retreat to online spaces where they spew hateful rhetoric, mobilize against a common group, and those ideologies then strengthen and affect the individual's real world relationships with women, with the very women they wish to court. So they're saying, there go their word relationships. I knew that I had this relationship thing for a reason. Uh, I don't think what this article is saying is being genuine. Do complaining, and this is what some men in this internet space need to understand. Does complaining, not saying you're going to do all this crazy stuff that they're saying, but do complaining about your situation, is that going to change it? Or is complaining going to bring negative energy into your life, bring more negative aspects into your life, further frustrating you, and not really wanting to do anything? Because what happens is the complaining really leads you into a place to where you feel like you're in a woe is me, or in a self-loathing era of your life. And when you're in that self-loathing era of your life, and not into the aspect of wanting to live in your purpose, and the aspect of wanting to to do better, to actually build on yourself, and make yourself into, and chisel yourself out of stone, out of a rough piece of stone, and make yourself a better version of yourself, you kind of just implode on yourself. And I can actually understand that, because the women can feel that you don't have the confidence. The women can feel that you don't have the charisma. The women can feel that you don't believe that you're good enough. So why would they even want to deal with you and figure out if you are really good enough or not, if you don't even believe you're good enough? So I can understand that, you know, harping in on that stuff, and really being negative, and not believing in yourself, that could really be a damper on your love life. And that's what I think that a lot of these spaces, these male spaces, do. I believe these male spaces are good for some of there's those men that feel like they're in a bubble, that feel like they can't break the bubble. They feel like, because of this internet era, because of the era of social media, that everything they see and everything that they witness on these apps and on this social media platforms is not what the way they live. It's not what they look like, and they'll never be that. So why even try? Now, we're going to stick on that for a second because that this does affect your relationship. This is this in mass affects women's relationships too, because if you listen to what these people are saying, this isn't just for men. This isn't what men just about men. There's plenty of spaces that I've even listened to myself where the women sound way more bitter than the men. They say way more vicious things. They say way more venomous things about men, and they're allowed to do so, freely and clearly and with impunity, with immunity. And they're able to do these things, and you're able to see that if incels are men, and they're saying these men are spewing hate and upset and disgruntled about women, then wouldn't the women be categorized as incels slash femcels too, that are speaking and that are spreading the same hate? This is what I where I say that women and men, we're gonna think about that for a second. We are living in a time where we're over sexualized and under socialized. How can we be over sexualized and over under socialized in the age of media, in the age of social media, in the age of the internet and social media? Where you ask yourself, well, I can understand you being over sexualized, because every picture and every website and every social media platform, it's all about some woman being, either half naked, and it's men giving the likes, and the women getting attention for those half naked pictures. So I can understand when you're saying, I can see them being over sexualized, but how are they under socialized when it's social media, right? How can we be under socialized when we have an abundance of social media? Well, I'm here to tell you, if you're listening to me, and if you ever listen to me, social media is not socialization. It's actually pseudo socialization. And the reason I say that, when you socialize, you get to see up close and personal what people are doing, men and women are doing, being able to interact, being able to see a person's emotions, being able to see the way their face is moving, the face, you'll be able to see and feel their energy. With social media, all you have is a picture. All you have is what they're telling you, whether it's good or bad. Most of the time, people are only going to show you what they want you to see. So if it's good, all you want to see is good. Well, I'm traveling today. I'm talking to this person today. I'm having this interview today. I'm making all of this money via whatever platform I'm on today. And you're over there, in your cubicle, or you over there outside on your construction job, and you're working, and your hands are bleeding, and every time you open the phone, or every time you put your face on the phone and unlock your phone, is somebody else living the best life that you've ever seen them have, while you're out there struggling. But when they turn that camera off, it's nothing like that. So it's not social media. It's actually a pseudo social media, or it's actually a pseudo socialization. It's not real. It's not reality. And a lot of people don't understand that these applications, then these platforms, people are just showing you what they want you to see. They're putting their best foot forward, and that is a part of why we can't get along. It's a part of why we don't have the interpersonal relationship and interpersonal skills to be able to really get along outside of the internet. I can tell you what I want to tell you. I can make you feel good. I can make you tingle. I can make you do this with a click of a button. But when I get there, I don't know how to talk to you, because I don't know how to relate to you, and I don't know how to interact with you. And then that further makes a pressure to not want to be around each other. Hence what I'm saying about, we lack the relationship skills. We don't have the relationship skills. We have texting skills, where I can text you things that I would never say to your face, and then never see you again. you know and we see this. And then let's go forward. Let me get into it. Now this whole thing right here repeats itself a few times, so I apologize ahead of time. But Dr. Jacob Ware, a research fellow at the Council of Foreign Relations, so this is a doctor, the Council of Foreign Relations, who focus on domestic and internal terrorism. So look right here. They're already telling you these people are counterterrorism units that are doing these studies on online people. And I know people are saying, well, you know, you don't, y'all shouldn't be scared. People, you know, if they wanted you, they'll come get you. Yeah, they'll come get you, but in due time. See, right now they're just putting as much stuff together for them to be able to be able to cancel you, to be able to label you as something, even if you're no, they know that's not you. Look at how they did to what's his name? Sneeko. Y'all think that won't happen to you if y'all ain't watching what you saying, or if you say the wrong thing or step on the wrong toes? By the email, that study that he told Salon by email that the study's conclusion seemed sound enough. This is coming from a doctor. This doctor said it seemed that this whole study seemed good enough. Now, right there, that phrase "seemed good enough" would be enough for me to not even take the study they did seriously. What doctor is operating in "seemed good enough"? Although he added that it is based on small sample size, there certainly is a vicious cycle element or circle element of incel ideology. Members of incel movement retreat online space. Yeah, this is where this repeating itself. Uh, Describing its let me see. It's not clear whether misogyny drives them into the movement or the movement drives them into movement creates or worsen the misogyny they then weaponize in their online and offline world. No, I don't believe any of this though. What I believe you seeing what people getting upset, and I believe what we're seeing is years of men not being able to say anything. If we say anything, then we're just a horrible people. We're the scum of the earth. And regardless of what people say, regardless of what people tell you, men, you know, men, our biological imperative is to mate and to be with women. So most of the stuff men do is for the attention or to seek attention for a future woman or a future mate. You know, they'd be lying if they said that wasn't it. You know, but you know that's why men are telling men, and they need to really not focus so much on that sexual aspect or getting that woman aspect. Make sure you know, do what you want to do in life, and you know, build yourself to the way you want to build yourself, and to make yourself fulfilled and make yourself happy, and then the rest of the woman will come. But if we've been socialized to not do that. See, okay, Salon, he said he wrote to Salon that she is glad to see more survey data and incels or something that severely lacking at the moment. The conclusion seemed justified by the data and research collected. They say not all researchers were was satisfied with it. Let me see. They say incel subculture has substantial tradition of trolling and attempted media manipulation, and their substantial mistrust of both journalists and researchers in the incel spaces. Squirrel against explain. As such, I would be concerned that the validity of sample method, and therefore the conclusion is drawn from the study. Look, there's several things that people need to watch out, but I'm gonna touch some of them because I one of them, and some of them anyway. That number one, men, you got to realize that we all get upset. We all say things and do things that sometimes we regret doing in life. But you guys got to realize that number one, we don't own these platforms, so you need to watch how you're talking. You need to really be, and that's where the whole stoicism thing comes. So because we gotta be careful. We have to be a part of being a man, a good man, a strong man is, and not, I'm not going to say real man, but a good man, a strong man is to be stoic. When to know when to fight back, when to know that it is time for you to you know, let the guns out. You know, I'm saying not literally, but to actually stand your ground on your things, and when to know when to be quiet and hold back and let people do whatever they're going to do and hurt themselves, or you know, as far as on this social media thing. And a lot of us don't know because a lot of us really weren't trained on how to do so. But you guys need to pay attention and know that sometimes you just gotta, fall back, and then it's time for you to step forward and hold yourself, to hold your own feet to the fire and stand up for yourself. And that's what a lot of these spaces aren't wanting. They don't want a man to really do that. They want men to be quiet and shut up, because a lot of they're hurting the money that they could potentially make off these women. And so that's what I need you to do. I need you guys to watch out what you're doing in that aspect. um at this point in time, about the relationship thing, there is no, I mean, this whole dance and this whole dating and mating relationship dance, the way it's happening right now, it's very transactional. It's very, shallow. Men and women need to really pay attention to what they're doing, and not fall for the I want to live my best life. I want to get, ran through and rack up 1,000 bodies and think that it's not going to affect me mentally. And then I can go try to get a man, and the ones that I look past, and then try to go back, double back and get that man. And then, live a good life. Look, you got to realize that these men see that. These men know, and these, just like you don't want to be somebody's sloppy seconds or leftovers. He doesn't want to be your sloppy seconds or leftover. Now, it's some guys, it's some sippish guys out there that might do that, but most guys aren't doing that. And a lot of these spaces are helping men uh hold their chest up and hold their chin up and hold their head held high, and know that they don't have to settle for that. Women say it all the time. Why do I have to settle? I can have it all. Well, why do men have to settle? That's what men are saying. Why do I have to settle? And a lot of these women that say that they don't want to have to settle for an average person or a regular guy aren't even on that regular guy's level. See, we're all trying to reach for the stars. America's telling us to do everything we can do to be better, to do better. And I don't have to settle for anything, while not looking at real reality and not living in reality. It's a messed up thing. It's a very messed up thing, and it's a lot of things, and social media has helped skew that with the way we look at this stuff. You know, we're seeing a whole generation of people that were raised on the internet come up and can't and don't have any patience for each other. You can't tell me that living, growing up with a cell phone in your hand and watching people defame each other, watch people humiliate each other, watch people talk about like each other like trash, watch women talk about guys like trash, watch guys talk about women like trash, and then turn around and don't think that stuff is going to make us really view the men and women that are out here in the real world a certain kind of way. It's preposterous. It's preposterous. How y'all guys doing tonight? What up, Bells? Sugar Bum, I say hi to you too. Modern women are better. Hey, you got it. I don't need a man. Well, I guess Sugar Bum, if you don't need a man, you don't need a man. You know, if you don't need a man, you don't need a man. I'm not talking about need, the necessity, but we do have a need to be able to have relationships. And I'm not just talking about intimate. I'm talking about, being able to talk to each other without thinking that you're better than the next person, being able to actually have the interpersonal relationship skills to be able to talk to each other about something without going nuts. That's an issue. That's an issue. And then the next thing we do is we want to throw, well, I can go and date this race, and I can, the man says the same thing and the woman says the same thing, and then we're all so messed up on the inside that we end up attracting the a lot of the people that we don't even need to be attracting anyway, and you still end up with a person that's no good for you anyway. And it's and the circle goes on and on and on. It's because we don't have the necessary skills to be able to get along with each other. And when people understand that we don't have the necessary skills and work on learning the necessary skills it takes to actually get along with each other, and to actually know that that man has purpose, and that woman has purpose, and it's not about competing like society has told you, then we'll get along. We'll get along just fine. We'll get along just fine. But you know what, guys? I am hungry. I hope you guys did all right, man. I hope you had a good night. I hope you guys did and listened to me and learned something. I hope you guys ain't just taking what I say in vain. What? It's time for some mess. Let's see. Let's see what Sugar Bum said. Stay with it. I know it's okay. Said he should have wanted, not needed. He should be wanted, not needed. Yeah, I mean, if you could say that, you could say you should. The man should be wanted and not needed. You know, you can say you want him, and but when us men talk about need, it's not the fact that you guys think of it as like we need you, we're wanting you to need us in the fact of needing me to put gas in your car, or needing us to just wake up in the morning and needing us to, it's not about the everyday need. It's about the biological will and urge to need somebody. Women think of it as like that slavery need, and you guys got to get out of that. You guys got to get out of the thought pattern that your aunties and big mama told you. Big mama told you to make sure that you loved him, or he loved you more than you love him. You guys got to get out of that, because big mama and them didn't lead the best lives either. Big mama and them made some terrible decisions. They made sure we were okay. They made sure we were living, and they took care of us, in the best way they could take care of us. But you got to realize that make they didn't always make the best decision. They didn't tell us and teach us right, and they got to own that. If they never say it, we got to hold their feet to the fire on that one too. Um, no, it's not a fact that we need you to be able to need us, or it's not about us wanting you to need us to survive. That's not it. We know most women in this society work now, and they take care of yourself. You should take care of yourself. A man should be able to take care of himself without a woman, and a woman should be able to take care of themselves without a man. But you guys got to realize that we my mom always told me, God rest her soul, that no man is an island, and we are needed. And it's great to be wanted too, on top of the needed, but we are needed. We don't need to be alone. We don't need to go through this world by ourselves. The corporations and the people that are making the money tell us that we need to compete with each other, that you don't have to do anything. You can be all bad all by yourself, all while selling you movie tickets, all while selling you, apartments that you really don't need to fill the void, or clothes that you really don't need to fill void, and more junk that you don't need to continue to be able to do all of that and to sell you things over and over again. You think about it. Why is Thanksgiving not Thanksgiving anymore? Why don't you see Thanksgiving decorations anymore? Why don't you see Thanksgiving things celebrated or promoted anymore? Have you asked yourself that question? How can they make any money off a holiday that tells everybody to be grateful for the things that they already have, and they don't have to go out and get more? And they don't have to go out and do more to be happy for the people that you have around you, to be happy for the shoes that you have on your feet, to be happy for the clothes that you have on your back, and to know that somebody could be right down the street that don't have any of that. And it's the same thing with the relationships. It's the same thing for what these social media platforms is telling you. They'll tell you every day that you don't need anybody, all while making sure that they have somebody. That's all I'm telling you guys. Well, I hope you guys had a good time. I hope you guys have did all right, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. You know what? I'm going to start making short form videos again starting this weekend. I got to get back into it. I'm not posting enough for you guys. Got to give you guys something else to look at besides the same things you look at. So I appreciate it, guys. If you like this content, y'all already know what to do. Have a good night, everybody. Be safe. Peace. Hold on. Be thankful. Be thankful. Don't worry about Halloween. Have Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Early Thanksgiving.